This is the Cool Photo Tools Podcast, episode number 88, October 10th, 2016.
Are you sick of trying to learn all the new photo software? Are you tired of hearing about the next big thing in photography? Well, neither are we. Welcome to Cool Photo Tools with Jay Pierstorff and Rhonda Spencer.
Today's program is brought to you by Skillshare. For a limited time, get 3 months of Skillshare Premium for just 99 cents. Anyone can take an online class, watch video lessons, and create projects. Over 4,000 premium classes. Go to coolphototools.com/Skillshare for your discount code. That's coolphototools.com/Skillshare. Good morning, cool heads, and welcome to this chilly October morning. Brrr! It's freezing outside. It's dropped into the 60s.
We're in Arizona. It's not freezing.
Oh, that's right.
We don't freeze in Arizona.
My name is Jay Pierstorff, and in the back is Rhonda Spencer.
Good morning.
Photographer extraordinaire everywhere. Here
in
and
the
there.
air.
But who cares?
Yeah. Whew. Okay, now everybody's just switched it off and gone on to do something else with their day.
Well, it's about time, really.
I'll tell you.
So, we've been talking about stuff. You know, the floodgates have opened since Photokina hit a couple weeks ago, and there's just been a ton of stuff. You know, sometimes, well, I guess it never really goes through periods of time and we can't find something to talk about.
That's true.
That's
but
interesting.
there's just more stuff to talk about.
That's for sure. And this is very stuffy. Just as we get close to the holiday season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are you going to put on your Christmas list there, Jay?
Well, actually, I have a list, and and if you go to the coolphototools.com website, there is a holiday list.
For you?
Yeah, pretty much. But other people might like it too. But if I thought it was cool, and you thought it was cool, probably everybody else will think it's cool as well. So you'll be able to check that out. If it's not up as of this podcast, it will be very shortly. Some of our latest and our greatest hits, essentially. The coolest of the cool of the photo tools is up there.
I'm sorry. He's like rhyming today. It's like, okay, there you go.
So you got a new program. Speaking of stuff that didn't happen at Photokina.
Let me open up both of these in. I'm opening them up in Photoshop first.
So Rhonda is going to show us this new program that you plunked down hard money for this, I'm assuming.
Yeah, actually not
Cash.
too hard of money. It wasn't horribly expensive.
How much was it?
Well,
I always ask that. I always ask, how much?
I think it's
what did that cost? Rhonda's like,
I think it's like $59.
Ooh, that's not too bad.
No, it's not. And I actually went online and kind of Googled and found some place that they had a coupon. I think I actually paid like $50 for it.
Wow.
I'm terrible. When I go to buy a program.
Those poor software developers will be starving to death and have to live on Rhonda.
I always go on if I'm going to get something and I think, let's see, does anybody have any coupons out there on this? And then, look, there's a coupon, add that code to it and see if we can bring it down even further.
I think everybody does that, don't they?
Probably.
Google for coupons and then there aren't any. That one's expired. Are you kidding?
We were talking about before the PortraitPro Studio One. Okay.
PortraitPro Studio One.
So what it does actually is it allows you to kind of change body shapes of people.
That's pretty much what it does.
That is what it does. And that's what it's for. And so...
but only in a picture.
Oh, yeah, only in a picture. So okay, you can switch over.
Are you ready?
You can switch over to my screen and look at this part.
Oh, okay. There we go.
So this shows how the program opens up. You add a new image, then...
PortraitPro body.
Uh-huh. So I was going to show you...
That's not what you told me. You said it was something else.
Oh, no, I didn't. I did not.
We're going to have to play this back and check.
Okay. He's gonna check me out. No, that's what I said, because that's what it's right there. PortraitPro. Oh, I actually have Studio One. Sorry.
I was going to say it's a different software.
It's the same software. It's just this is the one that has more stuff on it. Okay. They have two different versions. This is the version that has more. Okay. And anyway, so I wanted to put this one in.
Here, I've got the website up on my
Okay.
computer. So
Good.
Okay, so this is PortraitProBody.com.
Right.
And they have a launch sale going on right now. We did look at this a couple weeks ago.
We did. But Rhonda decided that she would invest in it and actually
it's-
show people what it does.
Because as cool photo tool connoisseurs, we often are talked into buying that which we review or report upon.
Yeah. Well, if we find it and we like it well enough, we do.
Did I said that?
Okay.
Sort of.
Sort of.
All right, you ready for me to
Okay.
put you on screen there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me
There
see
you
if I
go.
get the same size on both images, which would probably help too, because this is at 16. Okay. So original image and second image.
Okay, so for those of
So-
you at home that are listening on your new iPhone 7, Rhonda's got a very nice picture. Is this a bridal portrait?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Of a young lady in a very nice white flowing dress sitting in front of a pond with green shrubberies and stuff growing in the back there. And she has a sleeveless white dress on
She
with
does.
some dark blue flowers, the bouquet in her lap.
And what I think, instead of with this, I don't think as much that, because you don't want to thin somebody out to where you look and you think, oh, well, I've thinned that person out and it doesn't look realistic. To me, what it does on this, it just makes her appear to be sitting up straighter.
Okay.
You know, I showed it to her sister and she agreed. She says, oh, it says it was too bad that I didn't have that available when I did her imagery.
So,
You know.
and I think there's been some studies done on this, but where they have put people just with a straight distortion control, where they just where it squeezes it to the center, and they tell people, go ahead and adjust this to what looks correct with your body, and most people will squeeze it
Too much.
to ridiculous
Yeah.
amounts, like, oh, that looks like me right there.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's
So-
such a thin head you have,
Looking at the original and looking at this one, it just to me looks like she sits up straight.
Okay. Yeah. And in fact, if you hadn't shown her the original, she
Yeah.
wouldn't think there was anything
She
weird
wouldn't.
about this.
No.
She'd just think you're a good photographer.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. That's
So
the great part
subtlety
of it.
can really be a
Right.
powerful thing in this.
And as we know that it's hard to get people, especially in dresses, to be setting up nice and straight. And that's what it all comes off on this one. Just looks like she's set up straight.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, it doesn't cause. Look there, it doesn't cause distortion within the image.
So did you use any of the skin retouching features in this, or you used their other program to do that?
No, I
or-
used another program for that.
Okay. Because I noticed that they do show, where you
Yes.
can cover stretch marks and
Yeah, no, I haven't
skin
tried any of that.
imperfections.
But I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. I was happy with it.
Portrait Pro Body. Rhonda says, run and buy it right now.
If you take pictures of people,
Well, yes, it'd be silly to do that to a plant.
or
car.
little squirrels. Little squirrels. It probably wouldn't be
I've
a
seen
good
some
thing.
chunky
Have
prairie
you?
dogs at the museum. They get pretty excited about the food they serve there. So
But the thing is, on this too, it's very easy to use. There you
yeah,
go.
so it's all just kind of menu
Yeah.
driven. How long did it take you to do that?
Not
that
long at
adjustment?
all.
Just
Not long at all. Let me see if I can.
20, 30 minutes or 5 seconds or 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Probably 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Okay.
On their
So is this like a
application.
tutorial that they give
yeah.
you that
so
you
they
can watch?
They can
and-
give you an idea of what you do. So this is actually what you do. You mark off where the bones are. You put it on the edges of where the skin is, and it actually goes that quickly. And from there, then you can do adjustments, and you can adjust each part with sliders.
Is those little hamburgers?
Yeah.
Oh, not that kind of slider.
Not that kind of slider. No.
It's getting close to lunch.
So Jay's always thinking about lunch.
I am.
So
Well, that looks very easy to
It-
do.
it is.
I wondered
That's
how
why
they
I
would, how you would tell it where to make the adjustments. But
yeah, so that's all you've done is
find the
that
bones and then
you find the bones and then
and
you
then
can
shape the skin
You
and-
can adjust from there.
looks pretty good.
And it like I said, as you see when you move one slider, it also intuitively knows that the other sliders should move with, kind of, so that you're not getting something very strange.
So you can't really
No, it would be pretty hard.
You can't make the Elephant Man out of.
Yeah.
You can't make huge gross distortions that
Right.
look unnatural, I guess I
Right.
should say.
And so, that's why I said with it, it's a pretty good program.
Well, alrighty then.
So there you go. If you take pictures of people, you might like it.
I would say you probably would.
Yeah.
One other thing from popular photography that I didn't get to talk about last week, I thought was interesting.
Okay.
And this won't take long. This is Fujifilm. The Instax that they make it used to be like the Polaroid SX70 type film, when it's much smaller wallet size. Well, one of the charms about the Polaroid film was it was square. You had this nice little handle on the bottom to hang on to it, and it was square. I think that was just kind of the look, that was so classic on that. And so Fujifilm is now going to make their Instax film square as well. And there's a picture here somewhere. Yeah, here it is. And it looks just like the old SX70 film, which is square. But I don't know, does it say here they're going to make it's going to be a great replacement for the iconic Polaroid 600 instant film from the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
And they're going to make a camera that's going to use it.
Here you go.
Did you find it?
Here's Fujifilm and Michael Kors team up to make a fashionable Instax Mini 70. Did you see this one? Now look at this little.
Oh, is that it?
Look at this.
It's got to be because it's square,
Yeah.
right? So, well,
Look
there
at
it is.
that.
Rhonda found the camera.
Is that
and
not-
this is from petapixel.com.
This is, I think it's a styling look. Look at this. It's got,
Oh, that looks better than the Leica does.
it's got the little, you can put like a little chain on it. It's got,
Yeah. It's fashionable.
yeah, it's fashionable. Look at this.
Back to the 70s for sure.
Yeah.
And how much is that going to cost?
Give me a second.
We don't know yet, probably.
I don't know.
Well, traditionally their cameras are not that pricey, so if it was too much more than $150, $200, I'd be very surprised.
I'll switch off and I'll look on my cheat notes and see if I have it.
Okay.
Let me look.
Rhonda's going on a search for that.
I do. It $99.
Oh, there you go.
No, sorry, no.
Oh,
Sorry, that was the wrong one.
Never mind. Never mind.
No,
Rhonda
never
misspoke.
mind. Yeah, I did misspoke. That was on another one of my notes. I thought, wow, that's really good. Now I bet you it's more than that because it's one of the specialty things. Do they say where this is? Sorry, let me look.
All right. They might not even say yet because some of that stuff comes out. Yeah.
Because it
It's
doesn't.
going to be out for this year, though.
Yeah, for the holiday season.
But see, that would be fun to have. I think the square pictures are a little more charming. I don't know why I think that. Probably just because I'm old and I've lived through the Polaroid original days.
Well, that, and I think it's cool looking for people who want like
And
a
this
little
one's
fashionable.
this
type.
one's very fashionable. They've got a
looking
little
camera.
fashionable case
Yeah.
for it, and it looks pretty
Looks
slick.
snazzy.
All right, so do you see this?
Okay, what?
This lens from Laowa,
Oh.
Laowa, the Chinese manufacturer that we can't pronounce. Venus lens. This is a 24 millimeter f14 replay 2x macro lens with unusual shape attachment. No, with unusual shape announced.
It's yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm going to give you an unusual shape on that. It looks like it's about a 2.5 foot long.
It does. But it looks like it telescopes. So
What does that look like? It's much smaller than a lens. It looks more like a tripod leg sticking out of the front of your camera.
It does. I agree.
So that's kind of wacky. And they're showing it handheld here. I can't even imagine what that's going to look like. Do they have any? Do you see any photo examples on?
On other than like this.
Well, they're just showing where the lens is. And I'm seeing some different construction examples of it, but it doesn't really show photographs that it's taken on this page.
Yeah, let me look, see if
So
I
this
can.
little picture on the back of the camera doesn't really tell me. That doesn't tell me anything.
Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can.
Well, it's okay. Anyway, you'll have to go to our website at coolphototools.com. Click on the link for this one. And this is a crazy looking thing.
No, they don't show any pictures.
Yeah, so-
if I'm going to buy something, I want to see what the pictures look like.
And this is from ephotozine.com is showing the pictures on this. I'll link to this in the show notes so you can go to their website and get all that good information right there on it as well. Okay, so this is speaking of the iPhone 7. Okay, which we talked about last week. Which shoots RAW now, and you can use Lightroom Mobile, is really cool. One of the other things that the iPhone 7 does is it has a bokeh portrait mode, and bokeh is the out of focus highlights in the background that are sometimes circular. And are very desirable for certain lenses
blur.
like 85 millimeter f1.4 lenses and so on. Anyway, so this is coming to us from Petapixel. The iPhone and their software now has, with the 2-lens camera, I believe it's the 2-lens camera that does this one, which is the iPhone 7 Plus. They have this bokeh portrait mode, which is available on it. And they show this at their keynote. Apple's keynote. And so the portrait mode, it makes what they call a fake depth of field effect. Okay. And they have, there's an example here. Okay. So here they're showing the fake bokeh effect. You see you have the 2 lenses on the camera, and it's not a true bokeh effect because the one lens on the camera is a wide angle and the other is a moderate telephoto. And they don't really have, they don't have the big enough sensor to give you a true bokeh effect. So they do it in software, and it looks pretty good. It's here they're showing an example, and what it does is it goes in and kind of makes a mask of your subject, and then it takes the background and kind of photoshops it blurry. So that's. But the trouble with it here, I think that you can see, is the closer it gets to the actual subject itself, the less bokeh effect it shows. So it's needs a little work, but still, I think it's a good effort. All right, so here's something from thedailymail.com, and they are showing us here. They've got they are taking the National Geographic photo contest. It's an annual competition, best wildlife photography, and so on. And so I'll link to this in the show notes so that you can go to this page, because these are some really great looking images. Mostly they're there's all kinds of stuff here, but of interest to us in this area here. If you scroll down to number 10, there is a local photographer, Greg McCown, and he has a picture that he shot here just down the street here in Arizona, where he's got a saguaro cacti. That's one of those large cacti that have the big arms that stick up in the air. That's not too unusual by itself, but in the same photograph, he has a lightning bolt and a rainbow.
And it isn't photoshopped; it's real.
Yeah, well, that's the cool part.
Yeah,
there's no Photoshop here. Now we get a lot of lightning in this area certain times of the year, and we do get some rainbows because of the rainfall. But to put these 3 images in one image is
a
pretty,
once in a lifetime shot.
Yeah, it's pretty iconic. So that's an awesome shot there. So good on you, Greg, for doing that one.
I think he said that he was actually shooting the cactus and the rainbow, and he got the lightning bolt as a bonus.
Well, that probably is true, because it would be difficult to plan where the lightning is going to be. I mean, it's you can kind of it's in the same area, but this is if you take enough pictures, maybe things will line up for you. Greg does shoot a lot. He's a very excellent photographer, and he works hard at it. So this is not just a one-off easy shot for him. I know that he deserves this. He worked very hard to get this image. And those of you that are listening on the audio version, you got to go to the show notes, schoolphototools.com. Click on the link, and you'll be able to.
Look at the picture.
Yeah, this is, in fact, this whole article from the Daily Mail, some really great shots from the National Geographic. It's well worth your time to look at. All right, Rhonda, are you back on track over there?
Finally. So anyway, I had never heard of this lens company before. Kerlee, is that how you say it? Kerlee?
Well, that sounds as good as anything to me. I mean, who knows?
It's another one of the upcoming Chinese lens maker companies. Look at the image that's come off of this.
So Rhonda is showing us
it's lovely.
An image of some little, some kind of costumed dolls or figurines. And what is it we're supposed to be noticing on this, Rhonda?
I would say it has a beautiful depth of field. Color is very nice.
Okay, well, back up. What kind of lens is this? Is this a
this is a 35 millimeter prime.
Oh, and you can get this on Amazon.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
You can get this on Amazon. It's a 1.2 lens.
Okay, so a 35 millimeter f1.2, and this one is in the Canon EF mount.
Right. And $700, $699.
Okay. Now, is this manual focus only?
This is manual focus
Okay,
only.
which probably not a big deal with a 35 millimeter.
Yes.
Especially full frame.
Like I said, I just hadn't ever heard of this company before.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of Chinese companies that are starting to really break into the U.S. with
That's
some of
what
these
I
unique
said.
products.
And coming out with some lovely looking lenses.
Okay, coming up next here is, we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, and we couldn't tell you because the podcast came out just the day before that it happened. But this is Topaz Labs is having a sale on texture effects. And this is the Topaz Texture Effects is a Photoshop plugin, but you can also use it freestanding. And if you like to use textures, or maybe you haven't explored adding textures to your images, you don't even need Photoshop for this to work. It comes with lots of different expressive textures and can create some really, really interesting images here. I'm going to switch over so you can take a look at that, those of you that are watching us on the YouTube version. And normally it is $69.99, but if you click over to coolphototools.com and click on the Topaz Labs link there, you can get it for $59.99. So there's a discount. And those of you that, if you bought the version 1 on this, the upgrade to version 2 is free. So you can't beat that. Topaz is always really good about their upgrades. They can improve their software substantially, and you get the versions, the upgrades are always free. All right. Have you ever tried this one, Rhonda?
No,
Topaz
I have a lot of
texture?
Topaz, but I haven't ever done the texture.
Yeah, this one's kind of new. This one's...
Have you done the texture?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep, I own this one. This one's awesome.
And what do you like? You like it a lot?
I do. You can add, if you do Photoshop, you can add layers and make texture overlays. But this is just so slick. It's got them all there for you. You can do it yourself. You can see as we mouse over the images here, they show you the before and afters. So you can make some really exciting special effects by, it kind of makes your images, they look painterly. I think textures are kind of like, it's at some point it stops becoming a photograph and starts to look, like a fine art painting. Anyway, so that's Topaz Labs Texture Effects. All right, Rhonda.
Okay, so, and I think they pronounce this MacPhun, has now put out 6 apps that they're doing in one. It's just too bad this is Mac only, guys. They keep promising by the end of the year that they're going to do a Windows version of this.
Yeah, I think they'll get around to it.
But right now it's still only. So anyway, in their 6, they've got Intensify, Tonality, Snap Heal, FX Photo, Focus, and Noiseless, all in one.
Well, now the Aurora is the one that I think that Trey Ratcliffe uses. Isn't that the one that everybody's really salivating over to have made into Windows as well?
Yes, it is. Yeah. So this is...
And MacPhun is spelled MacPhun.com.
I thought this one is interesting.
Now, which one is that you're showing us there?
This one is the Refocus. Focus.
Okay.
So.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Does it have built-in masking, or how does it do that?
It must have built-in masking.
Okay, Rhonda's showing us an image where there is a little island with some buildings on it, and the before and after is that the island is in focus and
everything else is out.
Which you really couldn't actually do that. There's no lens that has that kind of depth of field on it.
That's true.
So that's a
I thought that
very
was pretty
unique
cool.
effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys have some wild stuff.
They do.
If you have a Mac system, you probably ought to stock up on their stuff. And the rest of us that have the PCs, we're just going to
have to
Windows
wait it out.
machines. We're patiently waiting.
We are.
We're not too patient, but we are patient at
We
this
are,
point.
kind of.
But speed it up over there, okay? Let's get going on this.
Go.
Let's do it while we're young.
Sometime. Okay, Jay, what you got on your...
Well, what I have here is something from audubon.org, AUDUBON.org. These are the bird people. And they have the results of well, actually, this is 5 handy tricks for photographing raptors in flight.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, and actually, and I do this a bit at the museum. And this is pretty good. Okay, so this article is by Kevin Carlson, and we got a link to this in the show notes, so you can take a look at these 5 handy tricks. So if you photograph birds, you're probably going to want to take a look at this. I don't want to spoil it for you.
Oh, spoil it for me.
No.
Come on.
I'll give you a couple of them.
All right.
All right, so you can shoot at the fastest shutter speed possible so that you can freeze those wings in the air. And also he talks about shooting in manual mode, which I do a lot as well. And then he's got a couple more good ones there. So you'll want to check those out.
Manual mode as opposed to manual focus.
Yes. Well, yes. Manual mode. That would mean you set your own shutter speed and aperture. And that's at audubon.org. All right, Rhonda. I see that was quick. Are you ready?
It was. Have you thought about selling any of your photography with Adobe stock?
I have thought about it.
Have you?
And
Yeah, this is something. They've got a new contribute to their new beta to where you can upload imagery.
So are you doing this yet?
No, but I thought it's pretty interesting. I mean, if you got a bunch of photography just hanging out.
Yeah, I was not paying you for it sitting on your hard drive.
That's true. You get a 33% commission for your photos.
Which isn't too terrible
Nope.
either.
And 35% on vector art.
For those of you that create vector art.
Yep. So,
Crickets.
but figure if you've got a bunch of stuff hanging out there that maybe you might be able to get a little money off of for all of us photographers that have lots and lots of photos. The only thing, you must be 18 years of age and the sole owner of every file that you upload. So don't try doing somebody else's work.
Well, no, that wouldn't be good.
That wouldn't.
So one of the advantages that the new Creative Cloud updates have, and Rhonda, you might not know this because you don't subscribe to it.
That's true.
Under protest. So one of the things that submitting stock to Adobe, see, Adobe bought this company called Fotolia, Fotolia.com, and they said, okay, so now you're besides being Fotolia, you're also Adobe stock, and they integrated it into all of their products like Photoshop, and so now you can shop for stock photos or clip art or Illustrator illustrations and that kind of stuff. You can shop for it while you're in Photoshop or in Adobe Illustrator. And so they kind of like have the market. So if you're going to buy a stock photo, why don't you just buy it from us? You can browse for it right here while you're working on your project rather than stop and go get your browser and open it up and go to some other website that sells stock photos and then download that and come back. They make it very simple for you to do. So that could be that I don't know how this, they're probably not going to release any details on this, but I would suspect that will help them corner a big chunk of the market just by being convenient. So if you are thinking about maybe putting some stock photos together and putting them up there, I think is well worth considering.
And they said if you're wondering on how you're going to be paid out, it'll be paid via PayPal or Skrill when you reach at least $50. And then they'll pay you out.
So you get $49 and never make another sale.
Well, hopefully that you take good enough images that you sell something.
Oh, you have to take good images. Oh, I knew there was a catch. Shucks.
But I thought, yeah, for all of us people who have all that imagery that's just hanging out on a hard drive, why not try to sell it? Do something with it.
So did you see this? This comes to us from our friends at petapixel.com. And SanDisk has unveiled the world's first 1 terabyte SD card, SDXC.
Okay, so
card.
what are your thoughts on that?
Well, at first I'm like, I don't really want a terabyte card because, you take all your pictures on there and then the card becomes corrupt and you lose it.
Yeah.
Or...
I think that is most of our thoughts on having large cards.
Yeah, or you want... Or it just wouldn't be. In some situations, it's not as easy to manage as having a multiple smaller cards.
Well, yes, because say you have a full terabyte, now you need to download that onto your hard drive.
Yeah, and if you waited, you're like, okay, I've been taking pictures on this since 1977, and it's finally full. You wouldn't do that. I think here's what this card is for. And really, if you're shooting 6K video and a lot of it, that's going to really fill this stuff up. And you can't be
That's
bothered to stop and
Switch out your cards.
Yeah, and I think that's who this is really for at this point. But pretty cool. So there it is. SD card. Let's see, what do they say here? They say it holds a bunch, and it's only gonna cost you about
a terabyte. Yeah, it does hold a bunch.
$800.
Oh,
okay. 800.
That's a lot of extra cards that you could buy. $800.
So if you use the Canon DSLR prototype that shoots 120 megapixel images and use those in RAW, 210 megabytes each, then this 1 terabyte card could store 4,700 of those files. So,
Yeah.
But I think the 4K stuff is really who this is for.
Must be.
Okay, you know what time it is.
Already?
We
We buzzed through that one quick.
We did. We just been
did.
talking, and we just can't stop. So. All right, everybody, drop us a line if you want to know. We'd like to know what you think, what's going on with you.
Yeah.
info@coolphototools.com.
We like to hear that you're listening, so just say hi.
Yeah, you can just say hi. And while we're at it, we need to do a shout out to Brent, one of our dedicated listeners.
Yes.
Who confessed that he watched 7 episodes in a row of Cool Photo Tools to catch up. So good on you, Brent.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, see everybody next week.
All right, we'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Cool Photo Tools podcast. Sign up for our mailing list at coolphototools.com. Got a question? Send an email or MP3 audio file to info@coolphototools.com. Thanks for listening.